So I believe that we're getting ready to have Aaron come on, and Aaron, for those of you that aren't familiar, has done a lot of work for Revolution PAC. He's been with us, and I think a lot of people have seen him. He was with us with the Nevada caucus and some of the earlier caucuses. He's our guy on the ground. He's and I think he's with us now. So, Aaron, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. How's it going?
Great. Good to see you, buddy. How are you?
You guys are doing a terrific job. I'm doing really well. Thankfully, I've got a bunch of folks here from the Youth for Ron Paul and the Bloomington Meetup group. They're behind me. They're kind of hard to see because I can kind of drift around. Well, they're all surrounding me.
We can see them.
We had a sine wave earlier today. We decided to do a little bit of it today, but have the rest of it tomorrow because it was a bit cold and there weren't too many people out and about.
Yeah.
So a lot of activism here. Those of you who know, who've seen a lot of videos, there's a lot of great videos that come out of Bloomington.
Well, I got to say, there may not have been a lot of people out and about, but I pretty much guarantee there were no sine waves for Rick Santorum or Mitt Romney. That's what I'm going to guess.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many of those.
Now, so were you able to take any polls considering whether or not people will be able to give up their lives for all the whales in the world, or no?
Actually, absolutely. Of course, we've been continuing this work. This is obviously the most important work that Revolution PAC does.
that was a pretty great video. I mean, it's
just, yeah.
We got to have fun while we're doing what we're doing, right?
Yeah, for those of you who know, we have gotten a little bit of flack. I've seen a couple YouTube comments like, well, what the hell are you doing? But okay, it's a joke, guys. Yeah, it's a joke. But I did ask Adam Kokesh, and we will have his answer.
I'm curious to see what a former Marine would have to say about that. Well, it's good having you. So what advice could you give to some of our viewers on how they can become active? Because we know the good work that you've done, everything that you've done to try to promote the right ways to go about making liberty in our lifetime happen, making sure that candidates do make it to office. Could you just spend a couple minutes here describing the best way to do it?
Well, the best activism happens when you stop being social in your life, you move in with your parents, live in the basement preferably, and just spend the rest of your life on Twitter and Facebook. This is what I've been telling everybody around the country. I've really been convinced. No, I'm sorry. But that's what we're up against. So we're up against that. And I'm posting like crazy and annoying all my contacts right now on Facebook. I hope you are too, by the way. And since I'm all about activism, let me just step out of that box out of the question. If you're watching this broadcast right now, please repost it. But to get beyond that, yes, we got to get off of that. And people are learning that. And as I travel around, with the best thing about this freelance work with RevPAC is I get to meet the leaders in activism across the country. And we are learning this, and it's growing and growing. And it's a slow process, but it's exciting to see how you integrate what we're experts at. We're experts at viral marketing online. And what we need to do now is the discipline of understanding how you target likely voters, on and on. And a couple tools that I've been lucky enough to work with some great computer people, Matt Wolf, who we used to work with, Campaign for Liberty. We together built a website called iroots.org. And I hope all of you who have a blog or stuff will feed into the RSS feed and check out that blog I cross-post everything from RevPAC there. Right now, if you go to iroots.org, you'll see a interview with Matt McDonald, who broke the story of the potential voter fraud in Maine. Mm-hmm. It's an interview that really goes into him as a pastor. He's actually a pastor. Not only is he the chairman of the GOP in Belfast, but he's also a pastor, and he gives a point of view from his angle as a Christian and as a pastor why Ron Paul is his choice, and he advocates for others to do the same. So I've been able to meet all these people from all sorts of different backgrounds. It's been amazing.
So can we get your group to do a Ron Paul like wave real quick? We see a nice group in the back. Give us a little.
and there's a friend there in the studio. This is his brother, Ron Paul cutout right here. So, saying hi. Get in here, Jilly. Get in here. Come over here. So here, can I let you say hi to Nate? Nate's in a video from RevPAC. Do you have a second?
Oh, absolutely.
Here's Nate. Meet Nate.
Hello, hello.
So Nate, tell us a little bit about being in Iowa and what you learned about rejection, because rejection is the life of an activist.
Right.
Yeah, I think we made it back.
We're sorry about that whole rejection thing. I swear to God, this was not a mainstream media thing where you're cutting your buddy off.
Yeah,
so.
It's happened before, so I'm sure you're suspicious.
Yeah, we'll bring you back on and let you talk. So go ahead.
Yeah, so anyway, this is Nate, and he's a active member of Youth for Ron Paul at IU. He's going to talk about rejection. So tell us what you learned about rejection.
Yeah. Well, going to Iowa a week straight of 12-hour days, either going door to door or calling people. We definitely got used to a lot of hang-ups, a lot of rude people. The Iowans, they're very nice. They're very nice, but around that time, the caucus time, they're inundated with phone calls. So their patience is a little tested, and as well as those who are supporting and volunteering for Ron. So it ultimately comes down to a numbers game, and all you got to do is say, all right, great, thanks, to somebody who is not warm to the idea of politics at all, or Ron, or someone who's an extreme Ron Paul supporter. You just got to cut your time. It comes down to numbers. It comes down to how much time you got. And you just need to cycle through people, through phone lists, through neighborhoods, and get it done, because you just got to go through the numbers, and that's how you win. That's it.
Well, and we just had a conversation with Alan Stevo here. He's from the Chicago area. He's run for Congress, and he's worked on some campaigns. One of his tips from his new book, which I can't recall the exact name of right now, but is people forget to work their own personal networks. They go door to door, and they reach out to strangers sometimes before they'll tap their own network, which is usually your network is pretty huge when you consider your social network, your family, work, and any charity work that you might be involved in. Your network is very large, and these are people who know and trust you. What would you say about that, guys?
Oh, I mean, I certainly think when Aaron was talking earlier about, just staying in your parents' basement using Facebook and Twitter, well, that's not as effective, but it's definitely effective tools. And, social networking is key, because people see what you're doing, what you're buying, who you endorse. And when they see that, somebody who, if they think highly of you, which sometimes, maybe some people do, maybe there is some real credence to someone that you support. So as long as you don't spam, we don't want to get overzealous. You can't just change your Facebook or Twitter feed into retweeting or posting all these videos. That's not it. You need to still be a normal human being with some Ron Paul stuff on the side. So
right.
As long as you're just not just doing a barrage.
And really, we're talking about offline as well as online.
Sure.
Sort of trying to integrate these issues into your kind of everyday life, and being able to talk about this. We don't talk about politics enough, because some of us are a little bit older, more mature, and maybe have a bigger network that we should be tapping. And I guess that's what I'm trying to get at, is there's people who are more established that I think have a real responsibility to tap into their social.
Hope you're not calling me old.
But that's what I was kind of referring to.
Gonna get you.
Did they hear me?
Yeah. You guys made a comment, and I wanted to add to that. And you were talking about not just your Facebook page, for example, becoming this springboard of retweet, recomment, or whatever. It's important that we're really passionate about this, but I always say honey brings the bear. And so with my friends, I like to have a lot of humor, a lot of fun, and it's not always political all the time, although it's a big part of my life. And for me personally, that's yielded far greater results of just having fun with it, because I think it's human nature when someone comes across and says, this is the answer, and they throw it to you, you're like, no, I didn't find it on my own, I disagree with you, as opposed to just having fun and letting them discover it on their own. And I know personally that's yielded far greater results. What do you guys think?
Well, I know one thing is if you've seen the ad that we shouldn't have snuck and saw, it actually references that, I think, because there's a young or an old lady in the video who wants to discover Ron Paul on her own. I don't know if you saw the Social Security ad, but you just made me think of that, because I think that point is actually in the ad where, well, we can't talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna. The grand debut is coming at 8:30, so we're not gonna give any secrets away. It's gonna be awesome, though. We did see it this morning.
Yeah, you're absolutely right what you say, and odds are, if you're watching this broadcast right now, you're probably obsessed with Ron Paul, and that's great. We need you to donate to RevPAC, but the odds are you probably are overdoing it. And every once in a while, I'll just look at my wall and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm kind of top heavy on Ron Paul stuff. and maybe I need to at least pretend like I have other interests.
You know, I've got to say that. And the worst part is that, and I just like to be fun and have fun and live life, and I think smile and laugh a lot. My friends know that, and but on my wall, because I let people post stuff on my wall, they're saturating my wall. It's like, whoa, put the brakes on, horses. I love Ron Paul, but like, I'll put it if. And it's funny because they're all like, Forrest, have you seen that? And I'm like, yeah, I read it 3 days ago. I mean, it's so funny.
I know. Aaron, as we move on to Super Tuesday, what are you going to do from now to then? What's your game plan?
Well, my game plan is to make sure that we raise $1 million tonight, so you guys can afford to sit me on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Donate now. You need to donate. Look at that number at the top of the screen. Hit the button at the bottom.
We need to hit 20,000 by what? What are we going to say? 4 o'clock Central Standard Time?
We need to hit it now.
Right. Well, I mean, we got to get,
And a question for you, and speaking of, we were talking about older people and donations and social networking, how do we reach people that don't use social networking, which is usually people who are a little bit older? What do we do to communicate with that generation?
Well, you do something that's called canvassing, and actually we just did that. Do you want to speak about what it was like a little bit going canvassing?
Yeah, well, we did it in the Bloomington area, which is pretty liberal around here. So we went door to door and we did some voter ID, and we asked people, who they'd vote for as GOP nominee if they had to, if they weren't too warm to that. But it was really good to talk to some people and expose them to what's going on. I think you guys talking earlier about tapping into your networks and talking with actual people. You got to log off get offline, and you got to actually go and talk with some people and have conversations. It's not a debate. That's not what it's about. You win more friends and you bring more people over to this side if you converse with them and not make your issue their issue.
And those are the ones who vote too.
By the results, we were really encouraged.
Yeah.
So I was.
Yeah.
Surprised.
Yeah.
People know who Ron Paul is now, and that's not like
Really.
the way it was in 07. So get out there and learn. You learn by doing it.
Exactly.
People, just remind them to donate. Call into that number. Jordan Page, you've got a rock star person taking your calls.
Yeah.
Call in, donate. Maybe if you ask nicely, he might even sing you a little duet or something. So call in. Jordan Page is on the phone. Let's make this happen.
What is that number, by the way?
What's that?
What's that number, by the way?
It's at the top right hand of the screen. The number, it's
right there.
202-904-2174. Again, that's 202-904-2174. I don't even have it memorized yet. My bad.
Yeah, so you can talk to Jordan Page. I was just chatting with him. I was threatening to come on here with a banjo and sing a really bad song.
Oh, no.
I should have brought my guitar. We could have had a crazy. We could have had a little crazy little Liberty jug band or something.
They have
Oh,
banjo.
look at, he does have his banjo.
No, it's terribly out of tune. Your donations have allowed me to travel around the country, and I found this for like $17 in Florida, and it's worth about $250. So this is some of the great work that I've been able to do. Joking aside,
Maybe we should threaten people. Just have you sit there and pluck out a tune and say we're going to continue this until you donate more. It's going to be by attrition. So.
Yeah, I'd like to share something about Maine if I can. Is that okay?
Yes, could you please?
So for those out there who wonder, are we getting good bang for our buck when we donate to RevPAC? I've been able to see it firsthand, and the two biggest things I've seen, first off in New Hampshire, I was there at Jillian's during the debate when the Compassion for Dr. Ron Paul ad played 3 times, and one time it played right after he got an attack about racism, a baseless attack, and it cut to commercial, and there was the Compassion of Dr. Ron Paul ad, and I had chills, and I was like, wow, that was money well spent. And it was targeted. It wasn't in some sort of multi-million-dollar buy. It was a smart buy that happened at the right time when the maximum audience would see it in New Hampshire. And I'm sure that made a difference, and it completely blunted the attack that happened in the debate. As far as I understand, one of the ads played also in South Carolina. The other thing that I've seen that would encourage people that you get the best bang for your buck with RevPAC is they sent me out to Maine to watch and give transparency to the delayed caucuses. There's a video I'm going to post here in a few moments on the Facebook wall for RevPAC, and you will see live raw footage. Well, it's not live now. We covered it live, and it's raw footage of them kind of debating how they're going to count these votes in this little caucus. And let me tell you, if we wouldn't have been there, who knows what would have gone on.
That's fantastic. Well, we've got to wrap it up here, Aaron. So we appreciate you and the whole group. I know we're going to bring you on later, so it's always fun talking with you. You do some fantastic work. Thanks for sharing your iRoots.org, and we'll catch up with you later, buddy.
Have a good one.
All right, guys. Take care. All right.